Hello, everybody. This is Ross Halleck with Halleck Vineyard, and with me I have Harris Miner, our Director of Wine Education. We're happy to share with you some of our thoughts about our current shipment, the releases that you'll be getting quite soon if you haven't received them already.
So where are we starting, Ross?
Well, let's begin with our Sauvignon Blanc. So this is our classic Little Sister 2023 Sauvignon Blanc from the Dry Creek Valley.
Just for those who may not be aware, Ross is using a Coravin. We do also offer these for sale if you'd like a Halleck Vineyard branded Coravin. They're available on our website, or you can reach out to us directly. Man, this Sauvignon Blanc has a really explosive nose. More tropical than in years past, I would say.
I do, but I still smell that minerality. There's a hint of that pineapple guava, those little green guavas that grow here in California.
Totally true. I get more lemongrass than normal. I think it definitely skews a little more Asian inspired. There's some gooseberry for sure.
Definitely lemon. I mean, it got that real bright citrus note. Let's give it a.
So I get more of that funk that's kind of classic to our style on the palate.
Sort of that combination between earth and fruit. It's got some definite minerality, hint of salinity on the back palate, which of course, screams of oysters.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, this is the perfect oyster wine.
That goat cheese, it's also a brilliant aperitif, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move. We have 6 wines to go through, so we're going to make it quick. The next wine is our Not Your Mother's Dry White Zinfandel. Gorgeous color. Love this color. If you go to a wine store, you'll be hard pressed to find a wine that is pretty as this, a rosé.
And for you wine nerds out there, we are breaking the rules slightly. We're deciding to do the rosé before the Gewürztraminer because Gewürz is just so aromatic. We find that it can kind of overwhelm anything else we taste afterwards. Well, speaking of aromas, I always get a big strawberries and cream from our white zin. Right, it's fresh strawberry, but it does have that richness as well.
It's like strawberry ice cream, actually.
Yeah, totally.
But it's a dry wine. It is bone dry, and so this strawberry note kind of belies the palate.
Yeah, I mean, there's great kind of fruit cocktail classic like white peach, white nectarine, apricot. Very rich on the palate, right?
Yeah, it's rich, and there's floral notes, the hint of citrus, and we were talking earlier. It tastes like daisies to me, and I don't know if you've ever tasted daisies. I never have, but daisies aren't a very aromatic flower, but they are floral, and this has that sort of earthy floral note to it.
Absolutely. I find this pairs really well. Coconut curry, any sort of coconut really brings out the richness of the wine. I like it with a lot of Korean food. Kimchi has a sharpness, but the wine can handle that. It's a pretty versatile wine. I mean,
yeah, it goes with strong flavors. I find it goes really well with Mexican food.
Oh,
it's great with tacos. Yeah, strong flavors. We serve it in our tasting salons with a gorgonzola cheese, and it's just stunning. So right into our Dry Gewürztraminer. So this is our Halleck Vineyard Dry Gewürztraminer, Russian River Valley.
And all these whites are 2023. The Pinots are going to vary a little bit, but we'll talk about that soon. Oh man, I can smell it from here.
Yeah, this wine fills a room.
Really classic Gewürz nose. Big tangerine, rose petals. For those who have this reference point, it always reminds me of rose water Turkish delight, which I love.
So it's to me, I always get lychee notes.
Yeah.
That Asian.
Totally.
Oh, now I really smell it.
Yeah. There's definitely some lychee, something like kind of gingerish. I think like galangal for those who are familiar. Mm.
So this wine smells like it's going to be so sweet that it'll stick to the roof of your mouth. And it too is bone dry, meaning there is no residual sugar in this wine.
Mm. Again, big tangerine, a surprising amount of acidity. Gewürz kind of has a reputation for being flabby, but not this one.
No, this is bright. You get the lychee notes. It fills your mouth with flavor.
Yeah. This has a little bit more of a tropical note too, like a golden kiwi. I get some honeysuckle. Really interesting.
And the classic pairing with this and why I made this wine is to go with Indian curry. This is a perfect wine for that, but we found that it's pretty versatile. It goes with a lot of other things. You know, my mom makes a chopped liver, and sometimes I'll take her recipe and make these sort of big rye bread chopped liver sandwiches, and it's like the perfect pairing with that. It's also great with roasted chestnuts. We're moving into the winter season and the fall. Gorgeous.
Yeah, Thanksgiving food that's coming up soon. For those of you who'd like to sit on it in your cellar, I really love it in summer with prosciutto and melon. Anything kind of sweet and savory really goes well.
So now we move right into probably our most popular wine, which is our Three Sons Cuvée, Russian River Valley Pinot Noir. Again, named after our three sons. Their names and ages are in the back of the bottle.
And this is exciting because it's a new vintage for us. This is 2021. And I think it definitely shows its youth. I mean, it's big fruit up front, lots of cherry. It actually kind of reminds me of cherry cola.
I mean, or Coca-Cola. It's sort of like, yeah, it's like cherry Coke because there's lots of cola notes in here and cherry together.
Yeah, there's a nice bright cinnamon at the end, some herbs, thyme, tarragon.
Lots of cinnamon.
Doesn't taste nearly as sweet as it smells, right? You don't get any of that cola sweetness. You just get that herbaceousness.
Definitely earthy, with this complement of cherry and cinnamon and cloves. This is our classic Three Sons. It just is following suit.
Yeah, another great Thanksgiving wine. Anything with sort of a fruit sauce goes well with this. Pork loin, Cornish hens, anything with sort of a hint of sweetness. Certain preparations of duck, delicious with this wine.
So again, Three Sons 2021. Jumping right into probably one of my favorite wines that we've ever made. And I know that's saying a lot, but I am just so impressed with the 2019 Hillside Cuvée. And you'll notice it's a 2019. It's the oldest vintage that we have on the lineup, and we've just made a lot of it. And now we're getting the benefit of having that age on this wine, and it's stunning. It is just really surprising. So let me dump this.
Thank you. Yeah, that's one of the nice things. You know, Pinot sometimes has a reputation for not being able to age, which we always kind of laugh at. But this, I think, is really hitting its stride right about now. I know one of our colleagues, David, says the rule of 6 is kind of his rule with Pinot. This is now 5 years old, so should be drinking pretty close to perfect.
You know, I always think it's odd that people have given Pinot that reputation because the most expensive wine in the world is a Domaine Romani Conti Grand Cru Burgundy, which of course is 100% Pinot Noir. And I've had those wines as old as 30 years old, and they are stunning. And you know, we'll be serving this and some of our other library wines at our harvest party coming up on October 19th. And so you'll see our wines and Pinot in general have an incredible ability to age.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up Burgundy because I really do think this is the wine we make, other than the estate, that's most in that style. If you like Oregon Pinot, this is also in that style. A little more reserved, more earth-driven, more cranberry, pomegranate fruit versus that bright cherry.
but big in your mouth.
Absolutely.
This is not a shrinking violet.
Mm. It has a certain savoriness. Obviously, it's much more acid driven because of that cooler climate, Sonoma Coast versus Russian River. It's got kind of a mushroomy earthiness that I really associate with that style of Pinot. Really delicious.
And consequently, I think it would go great with a mushroom risotto, but anything with truffles in it.
Totally.
It definitely will complement well.
Yeah, and this can handle your lamb, your game meats. If you have anything that's a little stronger in flavor, this is the wine for you. Single vineyard time.
Hillside Cuvée 2019. And we move into our very first taste of the 2021 Haas Vineyard. And we literally, this is our very first bottle of it. So I'm really excited to try this. So Haas, as you'll remember, is a 2-acre vineyard in the Sonoma Mountain region. It's our only vineyard from the Sonoma Mountain region. This is the wine that Josh Groban picked as his favorite, and consequently led us to make a single vineyard of this wine because we were really only using it for blending. And we thank Josh for alerting us to the quality of this fruit.
Yeah, this always is the warmest climate Pinot we make. So if you like a little more robustness, a little more richness to the fruit, I mean, this has more of a cherry compote versus the brighter cherry before.
Mm-hmm.
Some deep spice in there.
Some plum notes in the nose.
Yeah, some kind of clove, licoricey. It reminds me of Christmas spices.
Mm-hmm. This is a rich, really rich wine.
Really full.
You know, this is going to be odd, but it reminds me of a Manhattan.
Oh, totally.
Without the alcohol, without the sort of that. It's got that Luxardo cherry note to it. There's some earth and even some tar notes that sort of balance the fruit.
Yeah, the tar reminds me of like Barolos have that big tar note with the balanced kind of sour cherry. This is a riper cherry with the tar, which is interesting, but you're spot on with the Manhattan. I mean, I totally get the Angostura bitter slice, that deep cocktail cherry, really delicious. What would you pair with this? Oh, I caught you at a bad time.
I think a pork loin or filet mignon. Both of these would be great.
Yeah, and I think any sort of holiday food would be really good. You know, your Easter ham, your Christmas turkey would go really well.
And moving on to our last, certainly not least, perhaps our biggest Pinot Noir, our Clone 828. It's our single vineyard, single clone, 2021 Sonoma Coast Clone 828.
Ooh, that is a big boy.
This is notoriously, or I would say, notorious is probably not the right word, but historically our biggest wine, except for our estate grown.
Yeah, it smells it. I mean, really rich, deep black cherry, that kind of dark allspice note.
Fills the room.
I'm a cigar smoker myself, so this always reminds me of Maduro tobacco, that really deep, rich tobacco note that you typically get in cab, but I think this is kind of a great cab alternative Pinot.
And similar to a cab, there's some leather, hints of leather in it as well. So
Totally.
this is a big Pinot. Whoa.
Great structure. Really great structure.
Wonderful tannin. Hints of allspice.
Yeah, rich cherry. There's some beating pomegranate to there as well. That really rich kind of tart fruit. Really nice. If the Haas is sort of the Merlot alternative, it's a little softer. This is your cab alternative. So I think you should pair them accordingly. I mean, this can definitely handle some red meat. So
I think that's our lineup. And thanks for supporting us. Thanks for enjoying our wines. We love sharing them. And
cheers.
Cheers.